with that, I think it's time to begin. Let's get cracking. So here's what we're here for today, right? This is what we're all interested in. Resource Planning 101, maximizing labor efficiency with Workload View. And it's going to be hosted by myself. I'm Mary, and hello to anyone new that I haven't met before. If this isn't your first webinar, welcome back. I'm on our customer success team here at MaintainX, so it's my job to make sure everything runs smoothly for you in the system and to make sure you guys know about new features and how to use them to the best of your ability as well. Today, we're really focusing in on the first resource planning drive here, which will be our workload view. So here's what's on the agenda. Firstly, we're going to have a little bit of an introduction. Then we're going to get into the why, the what, and the how of resource planning. We'll even do a live demonstration. I'll take you through the module myself, and then I'll give a little bit of advice on how to get started. So hopefully at the end of this webinar, you'll be fully equipped to go and make full use of this new feature. As I mentioned, we'll also have our live Q&A, so don't forget to stick around for that. A little bit about MaintainX here. So our mission is to transform the way frontline professionals manage the equipment and facilities that power our world. We're building for the long term, pushing innovation in mobile workflows, real-time analytics, and open APIs, and we partner with our customers. We have a world-class team here that develops and supports our product with industry expertise in manufacturing, facilities, and more. As a reminder, you always have your 3 prongs of support here as a MaintainX customer. You have your account manager, you have our wonderful support team, 24 hours a day with a response time less than 3 minutes, and you have myself and my team in customer success, all of us dedicated to making sure you're able to make the most out of your MaintainX license. Again, cool slide. Leading customers trust MaintainX with their operations. And you may see some names on here that you recognize. But what I want to emphasize as well is that MaintainX is primed to be used by all sizes of companies, whether you're a large multinational corporation, whether you're a small mom and pop shop, whether you have 1 plant, whether you have 6, it doesn't matter. There's value for everyone within MaintainX. So I hope we show you some of that today. So first up, let's get everyone warmed up. A question for you. How are you currently managing your team's work assignments? We're going to pop up a poll, and if you'd like to take a look through there, we would love to hear your responses. So we have a few options. Firstly, are you using MaintainX's workload view? Secondly, are you using a spreadsheet, maybe Excel or Sheets or a database to manage this? Are you using another planning software? Or do you have no system in place? Do you really just use knowledge of the plant and team availability to do your work assignments? And we'll let that run live. Claudine, if you can make sure that's coming through because I can't see it, that'd be great. And I'll let you pop on the results when ready.
Just waiting on a few more.
We'll let you guys get your votes in, don't you worry. And there we go. So great to see 45% of people already using MaintainX Workload View. That's fabulous. Hopefully we can give you some more tools here and some more features that'll help you deepen that usage. A fair amount, around 32% using spreadsheets or another planning software. That's great. Let's see if we can bring them all in one. And about 33% not using a system and using knowledge of the plant and team availability. So I'm actually really impressed to see how many people are already using Workload View. Good on you guys for seeing a new feature and for running with it. For the 33% people who have no system, we're going to hopefully give you some tools to empower your organization today as well. And those using other systems, hopefully, again, you can see the functionality you're looking for elsewhere reflected in MaintainX, so you can really take advantage of an all-in-one solution. Alrighty, so let's kick it off. The why. Why should we care about this? What's going on here? So here's the issue at hand. I'm sure this isn't surprising to anyone at all. There's currently a labor shortage. That's the nature of the current macroeconomic climate. We've seen that 89% of manufacturers are experiencing issues hiring skilled workers. It's something we've heard from customers across the board here, not even just in manufacturing, across industries. It's hard to find the people with the skills you need to maintain your operations. We're having to do more with less. Never an easy task. So let's dig into this just a little bit more, shall we? The labor shortage is causing this kind of funnel of pain, if we call it that. Labor shortage results in some PM compliance issues, resulting in increased costs. Now, how does that work? Well, from the labor shortage, we don't have enough team members to complete the required work, say those PMs, those recurring tasks that need to be done. And for the works that we do have, we're then not optimizing on them. So when we have decentralized tools like spreadsheets and calendar tools to track labor, it's really hard to manage that efficiently and make sure the right person for the job is getting that done, to make sure that our operations are as streamlined as they possibly can be. What this results in then is some PM compliance issues as available team capacity is wasted. That work not being done by the best person for the job means that important work can be skipped, and we may result in, a few more failures, a few more breakages, a few more downtimes, which again may throw us off getting those PMs actually done. We have more firefighting to do. As a result, we're looking at additional costs here. Let's break down those additional costs, shall we? We found three main factors here. So starting with unexpected overtime. As we mentioned before, that work is being done by fewer people. That directly costs the team money. We're having to pay unexpected overtimes to our team, and it results in dissatisfaction as well. The implied loss of slightly higher turnover rates that we're seeing as well as we struggle to keep up with a demanding and unpredictable workload results in more time spent trying to hire, more investment there. It's really a bundle of costs that we see as a result of that overtime. Second one, probably most obvious, audit penalties. We're not getting those PMs done on a snappy schedule. Because of our lowered capacity, we're going to suffer some audit penalties when they come check in. We want to make sure that we can stick to those schedules, but how do we do that with a lesser team? It's much easier said than done. Third bucket here that we're looking at, production losses. With slipping PM plans, we result in less reliable equipment, right? The time between failures and the lifespan of a piece of equipment is going to drastically decrease there. With downtimes comes lost production hours. Lost production hours, less being produced. We're going to incur some increased costs there and lowered profits. This in turn fuels the first 2 points, I would say. We're then looking at more overtime to solve the problem and get us back to production. And we're looking at more audit penalties because we're missing more PMs because we are constantly spending time firefighting. It can really feel like a snowball effect, right? One thing happens and then 10, then 15. And before you know it, we're just firefighting all the time. So let's flow back here. There we go. This is our original problem, right? Labor shortage, PM compliance issues resulting in increased cost. Why isn't this solved? Well, resource constraints go unaddressed and they're often misunderstood. It's really hard to adapt our processes, especially when we're firefighting so much, to make sure that we're hitting the mark here. So MaintainX took a look. We took a look at ourselves, at our software, and we thought, what can we help with here? Well, we can't necessarily help with the labor shortage, unfortunately, much as we would like to. And we can't necessarily help with the last point as well. But what we can do is focus in on that middle section here. We can help make you more compliant. There we go. Oops. Ignore me there. There we go. So how can we help maintenance supervisors increase PM compliance using MaintainX? That's Workload View. That's what we're here to talk about today. Workload View offers full calendar visibility, real-time labor and capacity insights, and additional features to keep everyone on task and make sure that nothing slips through the cracks. We're trying to halt that snowball effect right in its tracks there. So what is Workload View? Let's take a look. Here we go. Introducing Workload View. This is our easy-to-use planning and scheduling tool to help maintenance managers and planners plan and prioritize more easily by assigning work across the team on a single screen. You're able to optimize your resources and react faster to change by quickly balancing your workload. And you can better understand gaps in efficiency and work order compliance across sites. Great, Mary. What does that result in? Good question. We're looking at increased PM compliance here. We've minimized labor and lost production costs due to ineffective planning. We're making that planning more effective, resulting in improved machine reliability and increased lifespans as well, reduced downtimes and production losses, and fewer unexpected overtimes. Of course, that's resulting in lowered costs. And we love lowered costs, don't we just? We can also help highlight capacity requirements. So hiring is often a bit of a minefield, right? What are we looking for? Well, here we're able to make data-driven resources and budget planning decisions. You can easily understand the labor constraints you're facing and make effective hiring choices. So we're getting more bang for our buck on this point. That sounds amazing, Mary, but how are we going to do this? Well, let's take a look. I'm super excited to show you guys into the resource planning module. So I'm going to pull up my MaintainX account and let's get right to it. Here we go. Looks pretty cool, eh? Well, this is our workload view. How do we navigate towards this originally? You typically log into MaintainX, and we're looking at our to-do view here. This is where you can see the name of the work order, the detail of the work order on the right-hand side. This is most useful when we're actually doing a task. Then we have our table view, really great for making any bulk changes within work orders in here. If we decide we want to change in one go, the due date, the assignee, the category, that's what table view is useful for. Calendar view, this was our first kind of look at, seeing some scheduling options. You can see a week or you can see a month and all the tasks that are done, but how do we break that down? How do we see times? Not so easy to do in here. That's where workload view comes in. Workload view is available to everyone on our enterprise plan. So if you're on our enterprise plan, you should already have access to this module. And this is what it looks like. So let's just walk through this screen a little bit. I know there's a lot of information. It can be a little overwhelming, but when we break it down, it gets fairly straightforward. We're actually going to start right here with our unscheduled work orders. Now you can see how many overdue, due soon, open, on hold, or in progress work orders you have that aren't appearing in this view. So what makes a work order appear in this view? Well, firstly, it's going to need an assignee. It's going to need an estimated time to complete, and it's going to need a start date as well. Start dates are very important here. That tells the system the time frame this task is going to occupy. So if we want to make a work order visible in this view, what do? Well, we can take a look at anything that isn't scheduled. So let's click on this one. We'll pull it up right here. We can see anything that's open currently or anything that's due within the next 15 days as well. Now, if I take a look at this work order, if I hover over it, you can see we get the basic information here. So without even having to click into the work order, you can see the information you need to decide where we're going to pop this. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to decide, all right, that's going to be done by Tom today. And there we go. He has his work order in his view. So to start pulling work orders in here, I recommend taking a look at unscheduled work orders right here. Now at the top here, we're looking at total resource capacity. So this takes the hours of our whole team. So any user that can be scheduled. For my team, we're looking at 376 hours capacity per week here. Any time taken from the estimated time to complete field will populate in here and give you a total of the amount of hours that we've used. So for each day here, it looks like we have about 78 hours of capacity. On Thursday, that's today, we have 18 hours scheduled. We're at 24% of capacity. My team clearly not struggling from labor constraints. So we're able to see exactly how much we want to schedule on different days, what we want to pull from one day and drag into the other as well. But of course, this goes beyond the whole team. We want to look at our individual users. So let's scroll down to our individual users here. Here I'm able to see the workload of my team. If I want to narrow it down to a smaller subsection of the team, I can absolutely do so. There we go. Now I'm just looking at one of my teams. Now for myself and my team, we can see a fair amount of work orders on here. We can see when it's a work order that's assigned simply to one person. That would be a regular work order. And we can see when it's assigned to multiple as well. You see this little icon of people there? That shows me that there are multiple people assigned to this work order. As usual, when a work order is red, that means it's overdue. If we have the little lock, that means it's open. If we have this, it's in progress, and we can see when it's on hold as well. So what I'm seeing here is that myself today, I'm over capacity, but we have a lot of under capacity here as well. So how are we going to solve that? Really easy. Let's choose one of these work orders. I'm an hour over, so I'm going to take this inspection right here, given this is an hour, and I'm just going to drag and drop it into Tom's capacity. All of a sudden there we go. I'm perfectly on capacity. This has been grayed out, and everyone else is good. No one is over capacity. So you're going to be able to rearrange your tasks here to make sure everyone is at or as close to 100% as possible. There should be no more issues of one person having 150% capacity on one day and 75 on the next, or someone shouldering more responsibility than the rest of the team. We should be able to even this out across users, knowing exactly how much time those tasks should take based on the estimated time to complete. So that's the basic principle of workload view in here. But let's look at a couple of fun features that we have. You may notice, firstly, that there are several days here that are grayed out. And a very commonly asked question we get is, okay, this is all well and good, but my team works different shifts. We do 10 hours a day, 4 days a week, and it rotates. No problem at all. You can change the capacity of your team and of your individuals. At an individual level, you just hover next to the name. We're going to go on this little pencil, and I can choose, firstly, my default schedule, which for me would be Monday through to Thursday, and I can even customize depending on the week at hand. So if I go on custom capacity by week right here, I can say, okay, all right, I'm actually going to be on holiday Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Wouldn't that be nice? As soon as we save this, any non-working days will be grayed out to let you know exactly who's available when. The whole team's capacity doesn't need to be the same. It can be per user. As we see here, Tom's capacity per week is 24 hours, mine 32, Dylan's 40. So you can really customize this according to your scheduling needs. If we take a look here at a work order, let's go on this one right here, my safety compressor. Now you can see that this is assigned to myself and a couple of other people as well. And the estimated time to complete in here is 2 hours. Now, we have this in my name. We also have it in Tom's, and we also have it in Dylan's as well. How do we make sure that this is divided the way that we want it to be? You have a choice within your settings on how you configure workload view. If a task is estimated for 2 hours, if you want 2 hours on each person, we can do that. If it's estimated for 2 hours, so we want it split up, so say in this case, it would be 40 minutes for each person, we can do that as well. All you need to do is head into your settings. We're going to go to features and into work orders. We're going to scroll right on down to the bottom here, and we can choose here multiple assignees, split evenly or totally assigned. So we've talked about assigning time individually. We've talked about choosing how to split up the time for each work order. But what about my team as a whole? You can set your whole team's capacity as well. Let's go into settings and manage teammates. Now in here, you can see the default scheduling capacity for the whole team. You can choose your working days, you can choose your hours per working day, and choose who you would like to be schedulable users as well. Again, this can be customized per user, which can be done either on the workload view page, or we could do that in here as well and choose who we want scheduling and if we want to customize. Let's hop back across here. Within workload view, we're looking at a weekly view. A lot of my customers schedule their work, say, in a monthly planning meeting or in a weekly planning meeting. So we can look here and see per week. A reminder, we can also see what's coming up within the next 15 days. So I could pull that into this week if I wanted to, or I'm going to move my face here. There we go. I could toggle across into next week and pull that into next week as well. So you can start scheduling further out. You have the next weeks available to you. You just have to toggle to them right here. All righty. Now, one question I also get asked quite a lot, and that I'm very excited to share with you guys is, estimated time to complete is great, and I'm looking to make sure my team is accurately scheduled. But it's just that, right? It's an estimate. How can you help me with this? Well, this is V1 of workload planning. We have some releases we're working on here and some new features we are excited to bring to you guys. The most exciting one I'm currently thinking of would be our smart estimates. So pretty soon, using historical data and AI models, we'll be able to predict how long work orders should take to complete, helping you guys plan more accurately. Ideally, that would take, the time that's taken previously, who's done it, what category it was, all of this information, and calculate how long do we think that's going to take in the future. So this tool will get more and more accurate with time, which is why I recommend let's start using it now. Let's get the basics down. And as those features come out, as they're rolled out, you'll be able to take advantage of them right away. Alrighty, a lot of information there. I'll give you guys a second just to ingest it, and we'll flip back over here. Cool, there's your second. So this is all great. I know this is going to help with a lot of people's planning needs and scheduling needs, but how do we get started? What's our first step? Well, firstly, we need to make sure that we are on the enterprise plan. This is an enterprise feature. If you are on the enterprise plan, great. Go ahead and use it. If you're not, which you can always see via settings and subscription, you just need to reach out to us. You reach out to our support team or your account manager, and we'll be able to point you in the right direction and see how we can get this feature activated for you. When we have access to it, there are two things always that a work order needs to have in order to appear on this view. That is an estimated time to complete and a start date. Make sure we have those start dates on there. Then we can choose the assignee from within the view itself. We can drag and drop it or assign it directly to the person. With that, you're good to go. You're going to start seeing when teams are over capacity, when they're under capacity, when we want to reassign things. It's very, very straightforward to get started with. Just remember those estimated times to complete and your start time as well. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. And I'm going to ask my colleague Nick if we have some questions for me that people have been asking that we would like to get answered.
Absolutely, Mary, and fantastic job. I definitely learned a lot of great things about a workload view and resource planning. We did have a few questions.
I'm glad.
Definitely looking forward to using it. The first question was asked was, can I reschedule a work order to someone in 2 weeks? The current view only allows movement within that present week.
Yeah, really, really great question. So you can edit due date and start date via either quick edit, when we hover over a work order and it pops up basic information, or we can edit via the work order itself. Then you can set that due date to whenever you want in the future with its start date, and it will appear in that week. You can then drag and drop within that week, so easy to schedule there, but use those edit features to move further than a week. A quick reminder as well, when you go on your unassigned work orders at the top, it does have an option to see work orders coming up in the next 15 days. So you can easily drag and drop those into this week if we're just ahead of schedule and we want to bring something forwards.
Perfect. Next question coming in was, why don't I see a full user schedule?
This is a good question. So I'll actually flip back across to my MaintainX screen to show you guys this. So essentially what we're asking is, okay, I only see a few people here. This isn't my whole team. So how do I assign to them? First thing to check always is make sure we don't have a filter on right here. If you're still missing members of your team in this view, it may be that they're not marked as scheduled users. So what we're going to do is go into settings. We're going to go into manage teammates. And what you see here, if we scroll across to the side, is you see that they're schedulable. So if I toggle this off, command will then not appear in my workload view. If this is toggled on, they will. And by default, this will be toggled to both admins and full users, but perhaps you didn't want your full user scheduling. So make sure this is checked here and make sure this is on, and then everyone should appear.
Perfect. Next question coming in was, how do I input my technicians' hours of availability into MaintainX?
Good question. Two ways of doing that. Within settings and manage teammates, you can set for the whole team or for individuals. And within workload view itself, you can customize for individuals as well. So whichever way you prefer, you can get to it there.
Perfect. Next question coming in was, if I have a work order assigned to 2 technicians, how can I modify the time estimated for each?
So that's also in settings. You go to settings and you go to work orders. You scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll be able to select if you would like estimated time to complete to reflect, if you would like the users, to reflect the whole estimated time to complete or a half of it, for example, if it's between 2 people. So with the example I gave before, we had a 2-hour-long work order that was split between 3 people. So I had the option to have it as 2 hours for each of the 3 of us, or to have it as 40 minutes for each of us. So you choose which way you prefer to have your work orders run, and then the system will be able to calculate that for you.
Awesome. Last question. Can I view the work for the entire team, for a full team?
Most definitely you can. So when we're in workload view, you'll see your filters in the top left-hand corner. It'll say users, and there you're able to filter by team as well. So if you want to see a team or a subsection of teams, you just select in there and it will pull up the work related to that team in particular.
Perfect. Yeah,
Whew.
that was some of the questions we had
Awesome.
today.
We're getting good at these, Nick. Guys, thank you so much for sending in your questions. Thank you so much for coming and listening to us today talk about resource planning. We're really excited about this feature. We've seen great usage of it since it was released in November, and we're hoping to keep working on it and keep improving it. So please go away, give everything we've talked about today a go. And if you have feedback, good or bad, if there's things you want to see, if there's things you'd like assistance with, reach out to our team. We really take those requests seriously, and we will do our absolute best to help you at any time. And a last reminder, don't forget to join us for office hours. We'll be here to answer all your questions. If you want to see how many questions you can fire at me in an hour, you can absolutely do that. It will be February the 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 Central, and 1 Eastern. So feel free to be there for that. You'll receive an email. Thanks. And I think that just about concludes us. So again, thank you for coming. Hope you all learned something. Go away and play with resource planning, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks again so much.